Hello, BookTube. I've got a fun tag for you today on Tag Tuesday. This is the Nonfiction Book Tag. This is new and was created by Mike at Bibliophile Bookscape. I love nonfiction, he tags me, and so I'm doing it. So let's start. So, number one, what originally made you interested in reading nonfiction? Growing up, I just always read nonfiction. It was never treated differently to fiction. I remember like being 8 or 9 and reading Helen Keller's memoirs too. I'm due for a reread of them, obviously, but I read all of my way through Helen Keller's books, and I don't know, it was just always there more than just I stumbled across it. Like it was just always there. Two, do you read nonfiction mainly for curiosity, learning, or enjoyment? I do all three. I feel like it's so fun to go into a area that you literally know absolutely nothing about and just learning about it. Like especially when the author is like learning about the subject with you, like they're detailing their experience learning about the subject. Oh, I love it so much. But I do all three, to be honest. I think nonfiction really promotes curiosity and independence and learning, and also it can be so fun at the same time. Number four, how do you usually? Oh, sorry. Number three, what topic could you read endless nonfiction about? Sharks. I love nonfiction books about sharks. I love books about the historical accuracy of Jesus, or like early church history where it's like post um, Eusebius, and in that grey period when literally no one knows much about anything because it was lost to time. So it really makes room for an author to sink or swim because they don't have much to like grab a hold of, or like ambitious books about like entire histories of like the ocean, just the really big topics, and seeing someone condense it into like 1,000 page book or maybe a bit more is just so interesting and so ambitious, and I love that so much. But those are some main topics. I've done so many videos on nonfiction. I don't know, to be honest. Number four, how do you usually discover nonfiction books? Normally through Googling. I'll have a thought, be like, I haven't read a book about that, and just Google and find some. So yeah, that's really it. Five, how do you follow authors or topics when choose? Or do you follow authors or topics when choosing nonfiction? I normally follow topics, to be honest. I don't have many nonfiction authors where I've read all that they've ever written. Really, like Anthony Beaver. I love his World War II books, but I'm not really much of a World War person when it comes to nonfiction. I think I've just burnt out so hard on it. But I stick to topics and authors. But when I find an author I love, ooh, I like Sly Montgomery. Oh my god, I love her books. But yeah, so I normally stick with topics. Number six, what non-fiction book stuck with you long after reading it? And for me, I actually didn't have a look around. I'm just gonna say Manning Clark's History of Australia, just because he's not really talked about as much anymore. But also, growing up, he was also considered to be so dry and boring and just really just meh. But I read him and instantly fell in love with him. He's like the Edward Gibbon of Australian history, and I just absolutely adore his writing, and it stuck with me. I love his prose, but I can't find an accessible print literally anywhere that is abridged. That isn't abridged. Seven. What topic have you learned the most about through books? Probably political history, like Australian political history. A lot about prime ministers. Also, again, ocean books. I love that stuff to death. But also reading just authors that I love in general, like doing their own memoirs or doing their letters, their diaries. Someone like Augustine or Helen Gardner or Henry Lawson, or I'm trying to look around to see, or even like Cervantes or someone like that, who you just learn more about them rather than just sticking to their fiction. So that's what I've learned. I've learned a lot about just people that I'm interested in, and Thatcher, of course, in the background too. Eight, what non-fiction book made you curious about something unexpected? Planta Sapiens, that was an easy one, learning about plants and how they communicate with other things around them, I thought was really cool. Something like Cultish, I love, or even, I'm trying to think now, I didn't prepare for this, or like Anti-Diet by Christy Harrison too, or Why We Get Fat, or stuff like that. I really made me curious about that, but there's so many I could talk about. Nine. What topic would you recommend to anyone to explore at least once when it comes to nonfiction? I don't know exactly, to be honest. It depends on what they want to read about, to be honest. I would say don't be picky when it comes to subjects or anything like that. If you have a favorite movie, go look, see if there's like a non novelization, sorry, see if there's a book about the history of the making of the film too. Check that out. Actors, check out memoirs or biographies written about them. That's what I'm doing now with Elizabeth Taylor and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Love that movie. But also political history too. Give that a try. Do some like lovely popular non-fiction like biographies of leaders, of authors. And always, if you find a favorite author, I find is to not just stick to their fiction. Read their letters, read their diaries, read their essays, do everything around that. Their travel writings too, because normally I've always found that their travel, or not their travel writings, but their non-fiction output is tends to be a lot better than a lot of authors' fiction output. That's because fiction sells a lot more. But yeah, just try anything, to be honest. Even if you're like, I don't want to do a book about like chickens, read it, give it a try. And you'll just learn a lot more and know what you like and don't like more. But just literally try anything. That's what I'm going to say. Um, Number 10, what non-fiction book would you recommend to a curious reader? I don't know, to be honest. I'm not the best with recommendations. I do have to look around and see. Um, I don't know, to be honest. Pick Up the Wave by Susan Casey, because Susan Casey's great. It's a book about people who surf big waves and like just her going to like big surfing conventions and events like that, and just interviewing people and just her learning about the culture around people that surf big waves. That's just one recommendation. I absolutely adore that book, but I don't know what ones to recommend, to be honest. I have pretty weird niches. But 11, the last question. What non-fiction book would you give to someone who says they don't like non-fiction? I don't know, to be honest. Normally I just like okay and move on, but maybe I don't know, like they have a favorite author, give them like a biography or like letters or something like that, or like a gateway into I don't know, to be honest. But yeah, if I have a favorite author, like read their letters, read their journals, read their travel writings, do all that stuff, and then slowly move on from that. I don't know, to be honest. But yeah, that is the non-fiction book tag. This is really fun. If you love non-fiction like I do, please do it, and I can't wait to see your video when you do it. So yeah, thank you, Mike, for creating this tag, and thank you so much for watching BookTube, and I will see you next time.